starting and we're on the air. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Bruce here, traveling with Bruce. Welcome to Prime Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Prime Time, Tuesday night. I mean, what else is there to do? What, watch an election? No, we gotta watch Bruce. We're traveling with Bruce. Why watch an election? You can watch it anytime. How you guys doing? Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my late show. It's great to have you here. I had my early show today. Went great. A lot of questions asked. A lot of topics covered about cruise ships, and I got viewers that are coming and going from cruise ships all over the place. I just had one gentleman just get back from Mexico. He was on the Ruby Princess. I was on that ship last year, and he reported good things. He said the cruise was great. The food and the buffet was fine. It was better than he remembered. I was quite happy with everything. He seemed to enjoy the entire deal. So that was a good report. Glad about that. I have another cruiser who's getting ready to go to Fiji. She's getting on the Holland America ship tomorrow in Australia, and she's heading to Fiji. So that's going to be a great cruise. Looking forward to getting her report when she gets back from that. And I just had a couple of passengers get off cruise ships in the last week or so who were down in St. Thomas and St. Martin on the Norwegian, I think it was the Getaway. And they had an emergency medical situation on board. They had to airlift with a helicopter passenger off the ship. And that was dicey, but it worked. They got him off, and no idea how the patient's doing, but the getting the passenger off the ship worked out. And we heard about some of the conditions still in Saint Martin and St. Thomas, and the front road, the frontage, the road that we see as passengers from the ship, all looks great, all fine, beach is fine, all cleaned up. But go one block inland, and it's not good. That's where you see the damage still very evident. Number of structures abandoned, or they've been ripped down and gutted, or they've been taken out completely, and there's just an empty lot there, unfortunately. So for St. Thomas and St. Martin, there's still a lot of rebuilding to be done. It's going to be a while before we get anywhere. The good news, though, for St. Martin is that the cable car ride is up and running. So that was repaired, and parts, I guess, brought in, and repairs made, and that's a popular tourist attraction for those of us who come off a cruise ship. We head up to that cable car, go up to the top of that ride, and we get a fantastic view. They call it top of the world, and it's a great view from up there. You see the whole harbor of St. Thomas and the islands off into the distance, depending on how clear the air is, and whether it's if it's really humid, it might be a little hard to see too far. But on a clear day, especially in the morning, so you get some fantastic views from up there. So that was great to hear. Good news to hear that attraction is back up and running again. Now, my channel, you're traveling with Bruce. Those of you who are new, if you've never been here before, if you want, you can sign in and say hi. Just text in. Tell me, where are you watching me from? What was your high temperature today? I heard earlier at 5 o'clock that it was cool in Florida. Disaster. I mean, this is a national calamity here. Here in good old Creston, British Columbia. Sunny, gorgeous day today. I think we hit about 53, 55 degrees. I mean, man, 95, 98% of the snow around my house is practically gone. It's kind of a mucky front yard, though. I wouldn't want to try and walk across my front lawn or anything like that. But we'll take baby steps, and these are baby steps. Spring is in the air. We're hoping it'll continue. I think that we're going to get some rain in the next couple of days, but we've had about 4 days of beautiful sunshine, and who's complaining about that? But my Floridians were telling me earlier today that in the 60s down there, not all that pleasant, but windy as well. And then the nor'easter hitting our friends up in the northeast. Yet another storm. I watched this poor gal this morning on one of the Boston television stations. They sent her out with the cameraman and the satellite truck. You can tell she's the newbie because she's the youngest one on the crowd, like in the group. She's just probably 22 years old, right out of the university. They sent her out to Foxborough, Massachusetts, and they put her on a residential street and said, "Hey, Katie, how's the weather?" She's got this hoodie on, and she's got the parka, and she's got the band around her forehead. All you see are her eyes like this, and her face like this, and her mouth like that. Everything else is parka, hood, and then she's got the microphone. "Oh, it's a little snowy out. We're expecting 2 feet." Then they're showing the panning down the street and it's just a complete blizzard. There's nobody out there. Why would you send some? I know why. It's the rookie. They're doing that to the rookie. The little one has to pay the price to get airtime. So that's how it works. You earn your stripes and you pay your dues at the bottom and you work your way up. Then when you've got some seniority, you send the next rookie out into the middle of the blizzard and ask him, "How's it going?" and wait for their reaction. Fantastic. But it's the way it is. I know my friends in Nova Scotia are expecting that nor'easter. It's going up north into Canada, and I don't know how cold it'll be, but 2 feet of snow they're talking in certain spots. So not fun. Hockey weather, I suppose, for the Boston Bruin fans out there. I mean, it's hockey weather. You got to enjoy that. Now, my channel is growing as always. I'm really appreciative of all you folks, all you viewers, all you subscribers. Thank you so much for joining in on this channel. About 70% of all the views on my channel are from non-subscribers. So if you like what you see and you've been thinking of subscribing, it's easy. It's free. There's a button here that says subscribe. There's probably a button here that says subscribe. And it might be this one over here that has a little bell icon beside it. If you click on that too, you'll be notified every time I do a new video. So please join in, become a subscriber. Speaking of subscribers, yesterday we were at 1,305 subscribers. And this afternoon we hit 1,321, 16 more since yesterday. And thanks for joining. I don't know if I'm one of the only YouTubers that talks about his subscribers in this detail, but it's exciting to me. I think it's fantastic. 16 in a day, that's like 500 new subscribers a month. Fantastic. Welcome to the channel. We're growing and it's going up leaps and bounds. Absolutely wonderful. I love it. And I'm welcoming you all on board. Also, thanks today to my 5 o'clock audience for watching, and I had a couple of super chats came in today. Oh, fantastic! I am still not a monetized YouTube channel. We got demonetized 3 weeks ago today. We're still not monetized. We're waiting for YouTube to, click the button and say, "Okay, you're back on again. You were on before. You didn't cause us any problems. You're doing fine. Come on in." But haven't heard. We're waiting. So it's been 3 weeks without a commercial, 3 weeks without any income, and so the only income this channel gets is generous donors like you, viewers like you who want to help us out. You can use the super chat feature, which is on the chat thing that you're using to text in. There's a little dollar sign there. You hit that, follow directions. If you send me $10 or more, I have a gift for you, just like PBS. It's just like PBS, like public television. I've got a gift for you. You can also send money to me through PayPal. If you go to my homepage, there's a little PayPal icon. Click on that, and you can send me any amount you want through PayPal. That's great too. Anyway, see this behind me right here? This is the bribe sheet right here. These are my medallions, my sports medallions that I had when I used to have a sports store years and years ago. I've got NFL football teams here, NHL hockey teams here, a smattering of baseball and basketball teams, and I've got USC and UCLA for colleges. I also happen to have a number of other U.S. colleges, but only one of each school, because I got sort of a demo sheet once. And you want to know what I have? You ask me what school you're looking for, and I'll write you back and let you know. But I also wanted to show you, I found a couple of more medallions that I thought I'd show you today. I put them together on this little plastic sheet. Let me put my glasses on so I can tell you what these are. I hope you can see these okay. So here we go. This green one here, that's the U.S. Army right there. Right there's the U.S. Air Force. There's the Beatles. You know a firefighter? There's a firefighter medallion. And right here is the Navy. And then right here, beam me up, Scotty. Star Trek. We've got a Star Trek logo. These are perfect to put on a cell phone. I mean, beam me up, Scotty. Gotta have your, if you know a Trekkie, send me $10. I'll send you one of these, and you can give them to a Trekkie. Great little gift. These particular medallions don't have any glue on the back of them, but you just use, super glue, and you can glue it to anything: leather, wood, metal, plastic, the back of your cell phone, or on a keychain, or on a business card holder, you name it. Anyway, those are the gifts available for any donation of $10 or more, and I thank any and all if you do it. Had a few of them on the early show, and that was wonderful. Okay, now let's see who's here, because the folks are already signing in and saying hi to me, telling me that they're back. Some of these are repeat offenders. They were here at 5, and they're committing the same crime again. They're back again. They can't get enough. And others are new. So let's see who's here tonight. We got Bob O here. Hi, Bruce. What gives? I thought tonight was formal night as far as the weather goes. It's a bit darker than it was earlier. Yeah, it's not formal night. No tie jacket here. I got my got a polo shirt on here. Look, I changed shirts for the occasion, but no suit and tie here. Randy Lucas is here. Hi, Bruce. We're back for the second round. You can't get enough. Can't get enough of the good stuff, I guess. Thank you. Wes Morrison. Hey, ready for round two? Beats watching cable TV. Sylvan Forrest. Hi, Bruce. I'm still looking for your email. Okay, so if you go to the broadcast that I did at 5 o'clock, go to that and click on it like you want to watch it, and then just scroll down a little bit underneath my picture. There'll be the description of the video. In that description, I usually have a couple of sentences about what the video is about, and then just below that, you'll see all the list of all the medallions, every team I have, and in there is my email address. You'll find it, and you just click send me an email from there. That's how you do it, and I'll be including an email on this description on the bottom of this one. Once this one ends and I post it, I'll add my email address again. Debbie Emanuel, hi, Bruce, and all of your fans back again. Bob Hollis, 57, sunny and windy in Atlanta. Sunny and windy in Atlanta. Randy Lucas, we were at Saint Martin in January. Still major damage, but they are open for business. Yeah, there's no doubt they're desperately open for business, and I think a lot of folks are they're taking whatever kind of job they can get to make ends meet, because they had a couple months of nothing. I think people are doing work that that they weren't doing before, just to make a few bucks and hoping that where they worked before will rebuild and reopen. I guess virtually every retail store was badly damaged. Most of the resorts were badly hit, so all the housekeeping staff, all the folks doing all the laundry there for these folks, the cooks, the chefs, the dishwashers, the valet parkers, DJs, playing entertainment at clubs, everybody was hit badly. And this rebuild is one building at a time, one business at a time, one hotel at a time. It just slowly comes back, and the hope is that everyone unemployed will be re-employed, and then that'll spur the economy on, and more rebuilding begets more rebuilding, and hopefully it'll come around. So yeah, same thing in St. Thomas and other islands. Dominica and St. Bart's were really badly hit. Of course, we all know about Puerto Rico. I mean, geez, we're still hearing it now, even though the national media, like all the on-air personalities, they were down there for about a week, and then they left some of the rookie reporters behind, and now even those guys are gone. And so all we're getting now are local reports, news reports from interior of Puerto Rico, and the power grid, just an absolute mess. And they'll get it up running to a 70-80%, then they have a crash, and the whole system crashes again, and then they have to figure out what the problem is, and they get it patched together again and get it running again, and terrible, just a terrible mess. Sylvan Forest, degrees Fahrenheit now in Delray Beach, YT degrees. What does YT mean? Is it 50? Are you down to 50 degrees or something like that? Loves to travel is here. Hi from Kansas, 53 degrees. Sylvan, I meant 65 Fahrenheit. Sorry, there you go. Sorry, I saw it. Now I just saw it. Judy Anstis is here. Hi again. That was just enough break to grab something to eat. Yeah, me too. I got my video up, had a quick bite, and here I am. Randy Lucas, still raining and a little darker here now in Paradise, California. That's a change much, right? Scott Batchay, hi Bruce, back again, 62 and cloudy now in Ventura. And hi to all. Nina Frank, hi Bruce from Sweden, 1 a.m. and 1 degree Celsius on the plus side. Beautiful evening, fantastic. And Samantha Farmer, cruisefulltime.com is here. She's promoting her site, folks. You got to go check her out, I guess. Cruisefulltime.com. She's here, and that's why she's always asking me questions about cruising full time. There you go. Now, I had a couple of questions from viewers in the last couple of days, and actually over the last couple of weeks. I seem to get this question often, and I thought, today I'm going to kind of bring this one up and go into it a little bit, because the question that I get versus the answer I can give, it's a simple question, but it's not a simple answer. How about that? Okay, so here's the question. Oh, what's the best cruise ship to take for a first-time cruise? Yeah, that's an easy question, isn't it? I mean, yeah, sure. Well, let's see. How about I send you on a booze cruise for 3 days during spring break? Will that work for you? Maybe not. No. If you're 75 years old, I don't think you want me to do that, do you? So it helps if I know, more of well, who are we dealing with here? Who are we sending? Are we sending college kids? Oh, okay. Oh, college kids. Well, I'll send them from New Orleans down to Mexico on a 3-4 night carnival and let them go nuts. Yeah, sure. But if we're talking about 35, 40-year-old mom and dad with one kid, two kids, three kids, different deal. Obviously, completely different deal. What about if we're talking about first-time cruisers, grandma and grandpa, 75 years old, never been on a cruise before, never. What are we going to do? We got to, every individual has a different need, and then we have tips for all of these folks because the 25-year-olds have to know certain things. The 45 with kids have to know, or 45-year-olds, just want mom and dad just want to get away, and or grandma and grandpa. And I thought I'd cover 3 age groups on this question and just kind of give a generic answer. And I have a feeling that this video, what we're doing right now, folks, this interaction, people will watch this video a month from now, a year from now, and I'll be titling it something to do with picking the right cruise. What cruise ship should you pick for your first cruise? And hopefully, whoever watches this video in the next year, if they fall somewhere in these 3 age group areas, we'll go, oh, well, yeah, that pertains to me. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. And we can, pass on the advice that these folks need to know, because it's just like an all-inclusive resort. If you want to go into an all-inclusive resort for a week and you're 75 years of age, do you want to be at an all-inclusive during spring break? No, I don't think you do. I don't think that would be a good idea either. And maybe a 3-star isn't the right star for someone of that age. Hopefully they have a bit of a little more income that they, are retiring on, or the kids are sending mom and dad. Send them to a 5-star resort and treat them right, because they're 75. I mean, come on. We don't know if they can do this a couple of years from now again or not. One slip and fall and you break your hip and you're immobile. We don't know. So things can change for all of us and any of us at any time. So we'll see what's going on. Now, let me just see here what's happening with my messages. I got a bunch coming in all of a sudden. Matt is saying, it's me again, and it's very cold again. Matt, you can't catch a break. I tell you right now, you're living in the wrong place. Samantha Farmer, Harmony of the Seas is good as it has something for anyone and probably everyone. Not a bad guess. Yeah, not a bad choice. Sure. Matt, straight off, I would say don't take a really old, tired cruise ship. It won't give you the full picture. Also, short cruises may be cheaper, but you may not have the best experience. And I mentioned this at 5 o'clock, and I don't like repeating myself to my same audience. But for those of you who are new and have never watched before, or are watching this on a replay, you can take 2-night cruises, 2-3-night cruises. They're all over the place. Carnival has them. Other cruise lines have them from time to time. But for someone who's new to cruising, who really wants to get a taste of what a cruise ship vacation is really like, think about it this way. Would you send a friend of yours who's never been to an all-inclusive resort to a 2-night stay in Cancun and say, just try it. Fly 6 hours, get down there, go through customs, transfer your bags, get to the hotel, check in, and have a couple nights, and then check back out, get back to the airport, fly 6 hours home, and tell me, how did you like it? I mean, that's not a real experience of an all-inclusive resort either, is it? I mean, that's a taste, and they're not even finished with the jet lag in the second day. Now they got to come back. Same with a 2-day cruise. Now, if you live 15 minutes by car from the port, and you can just drive your car, or a friend of yours can drop you off at a port where you can get on a ship for a couple of days, yeah, I guess, that's a bit of a taste of a cruise, and you're not stressed out on the trip. But for a lot of us who are, a day trip or more away, a whole day away, and we really have to stay a night in a hotel prior to getting on the ship to make sure we don't get, knocked off our budget with our time frame. I mean, they're scheduled because of a delay at the airport or mechanical issues with a jet. We need a little more time than just a 2-day cruise. And really, the average cruise is a 7-day cruise, generally speaking. There are 14 days, 10 days, 12 days, and longer And there are these 2, 3, and 5-day cruises, but the average for typical cruises is a 7-day cruise, like an all-inclusive resort in Mexico or Dominica or Jamaica, that kind of a location. So I recommend always a 7-day cruise so that you get through embarkation day. And the day before embarkation, you get there, and then embarkation day, which is a whole episode and experience unto itself. And then you've got 5 or so days of just being a cruise ship passenger, and you're going to get used to it. You're going to figure out what it is you like doing on the cruise and what you don't like doing on the cruise. And if the cruise goes well for you, you're going to figure out in 5 days, a week isn't enough. And you're going to have to look at another one. And yeah, that's when it gets more fun, because now you're planning your second cruise because you experienced the first one, and away we go. The end of the cruise is always a downer because you got to pack up your stuff and put your bags out in the hallway, and the night before the cruise, and then the next morning you wake up and you go for your buffet breakfast maybe, or your dining room breakfast for your last breakfast, and everyone's leaving, and it's a solemn occasion. The ship atmosphere is down because it's over, and a couple hours later you're in line to get off, and then off you go, and it's now mayhem to go to where you have to go. So a 1-week cruise is the way to go, really, for newbies and for those of us who've done it before. I wouldn't recommend a 2-week cruise for a first-time cruise. I wouldn't generally, but there are folks who decide, well, I'm going to take my first cruise from Tampa to London and Southampton up in the UK. Wow, I can get a repositioning cruise for a great deal. That's true. You can get a really good deal. The reality is, though, that you're going to get on the ship, and it might have one stop in Bermuda for a day, but then you're going to have 6 straight days at sea. Unlike a 7-day cruise, say, in the Caribbean or the Mexican Riviera, you get on a 7-day cruise and you won't have more than 2 days at sea at any one stretch, because you're probably going to have 3 or maybe 4 ports of call in that 7-day window. So you're on the ship, you're off the ship, you're on the ship. And when it's moving, you're sleeping mainly. And then when it's at the pier, at the dock, you're off the ship for 4 or 6 hours, whatever you're doing, back on the ship for the sail away. And then it's time for dinner and some entertainment, and then it's back to bed. And the cruise ship heads to the next port. Next morning, you wake up and you're at the next port. So unlike a repositioning, though, the repositioning is every day you're moving at 20-something knots an hour across the Atlantic to the other side. And sure, at the other end, you might have a stop in the Azores. You might have a stop in maybe in Portugal. You might have a stop in Ireland, and then eventually to Southampton. You might have 3 or 4 stops on the last part of the cruise. But that's not a typical cruise. It's an untypical cruise because it's a single destination. It's from here to here. It doesn't bring you back home. You're over here now, and you figure out from Southampton where you're headed next and how you're going to work your way back and when. But the money is right. So I don't discourage anyone from taking their first ever cruise as a repositioning cruise, but to experience a typical cruise holiday for what we're used to now in this day and age. It's a 7-day cruise. Get on the ship in Fort Lauderdale, brings you back to Fort Lauderdale, and then you work your way home from there. Of course, when I was a kid in the late 50s and early 60s, my parents, we went across the North Atlantic on an ocean liner. And yeah, in those days, it was a one-way trip. You went from Canada, the U.S., to Europe, spent whatever amount of time there, and then came back. Unless, of course, you were an immigrant coming from Europe after the Second World War to North America to live permanently as an immigrant, that was a one-way ticket. But it wasn't in any kind of class that you and I are familiar with today. We would be shocked if we found a flux capacitor and hit 88 miles an hour and found ourselves at a port and realized, oh my goodness, we have a ticket in our hand and we're getting on that ocean liner. I think we'd be shocked if we had to get on an ocean liner from 1954 from Europe to North America in third class. I don't think we'd be happy about it. I know we wouldn't be happy. There ain't no spa, people. There ain't no spa. So yeah, what it was like then versus what it's like now, completely different. And so today's typical cruise ship passenger, is a 7-day traveler from one port back to the same port, and enjoying the amenities. Let's see here what we have here. Yeah, don't take a tired old cruise ship. Matt makes a good point there. I did touch on this earlier today at 5 o'clock as well, about how cruise ships are still operating today that were built in the 90s, in the early 90s, mid 90s. They've been refurbished. I mean, they've gone into dry dock a couple of times, and they've been upgraded. Bedding has been completely changed out, if not once, twice, maybe 3 times already. A cruise ship that's 20 plus years old has probably been in dry dock 3 or 4 times. It's usually an average every 5 years. So yeah, the walls and the door seals and some of the cosmetics might look a little tired on the ship, but the the sheets you're sleeping on and the bedding you're using and the towels they're all basically hotel quality, brand new, or within a year of age. That's about it. But the ship won't have the amenities on the grand scale, the big scale, that say Royal Caribbean might have, say with the Oasis of the Seas or the Harmony of the Seas. If you're going to go on a first-time cruise and you're young, I'd send you on the Harmony of the Seas and knock yourself out. You're going to have so many activities to do on the ship, and then at shore, because you'll go to Labadee in Haiti. You'll have all those activities to do there. And as a 25-year-old couple, you'll just have the time of your lives. If you're on like a honeymoon or something like that, fantastic. Matt's also saying equally, don't take a long cruise in case they really hate it, and don't take the newest, best ships like Harmony Quantum, as they will have high expectations going forward. Well, okay, yes and no. I mean, look, if your first cruise is on the Quantum of the Seas or Harmony of the Seas, and your second cruise is on a 25-year-old cruise ship because you got a deal, don't be mad that it doesn't have the simulator for the surfboard, and it doesn't have the skydiving simulator. It doesn't have the rock climbing. Well, of course. I mean, it's a ship from 1994. You were just on a 2017 Wonder ship. Yeah, that makes sense. But I think most people kind of get that. But look, I recommend, if you can go on a brand new cruise ship for your first cruise, do it. The ship is the most stable riding on the ocean. It'll have the stabilizers computer controlled. The ship is engineered with the latest designs, with the hull and the design of the aft. I mean, the ship's engines are at the peak of efficiency for that kind of vessel. I just heard that 10 days from now, Symphony of the Seas is handed over. They're handing the keys over to Royal Caribbean. And that ship, even though it's heavier, will hold more passengers than the Harmony of the Seas, is more fuel efficient than the Harmony of the Seas. It goes faster in the water and uses less fuel. And that's only 3 years ago that the Harmony came out. So in such a short period of time, even these behemoth monster ships are becoming more and more efficient than their predecessors. And so taking a new cruise ship is not a bad idea. Definitely the way to go. Belinda's here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Belinda. How are you? Matt, Royal Caribbean has something for every age, and the Freedom class is the best to start, I would say. Debbie Manuel, don't forget the thumbs up button for Bruce, she's saying. Give Bruce thumbs ups if you can, folks. Just below the picture, you'll see a little icon. There's one that's like this, one like this. This one is bad. This one is good. But, I take what I get. If you give me thumbs ups, I'll take them. It helps the analytics in the YouTube system pop the channel. It shows activity, positive activity. We love it. Bob O is giving me thumbs up. Samantha Farmer's giving me thumbs ups here. And I see about 19 or so have come in so far. Randy Lucas is saying, question for you, Bruce. If my wife and I cruise more than once a year, does that qualify us to join the frequent floater club? Well, now there's 2 kinds of frequent floater clubs. Okay, there's the unofficial one, which is, I think, maybe the one you're referring to. And that's kind of like Las Vegas. What happens in your cabin stays in your cabin. We don't go there. But there's the other one. If you're on Norwegian or Carnival or Royal Caribbean, doesn't matter what line you're on, Princess, Holland American, you book another cruise on that same cruise line, that company, whatever ship that they have, they remember the fact that you're a repeat customer, and you start getting brownie points on your account. Now, in the first 1 or 2 or 3 cruises, not much different. will happen. But on the 4th or 5th or 6th, you'll be bumped up a level higher inside the Emerald Club or the Sky Club. They all have their own names for their clubs. And the more you cruise, you get frequent cruiser points, and you're entitled to more perks. And so each cruise line has a definition and description of those perks. Just go to any of the cruise lines to see for yourself, and they'll break down the deal, what you would get for benefits. Now, the top benefits, we're talking about 150 days at sea overall. So that would be 20 plus 1 week cruises, 22 plus 1 week cruises. So those kinds of passengers, they get extras. Oh yeah, because cruise lines reward. But I'll tell you, the best reward you can give yourself right now, I don't care if you're a one-time cruiser only for this one company or not, but if you're going on Norwegian or Royal Caribbean or Carnival, any of their cruise lines, be a shareholder of the company. Own 100 shares of whatever cruise line you're going on. So if you're going on Celebrity, well, that's owned by Royal Caribbean. Buy 100 shares of Royal Caribbean stock at least a month before you go on the cruise. Why? Because if it's a 1 week cruise, for example, on Celebrity, you get a $100 cabin credit because you're a shareholder of the company. You own the stock at least 15 days before before that cruise takes off. That's why I say buy it a month before. You get a $100 credit as an extra credit. You just have to notify your travel agent or the cruise line that you're a shareholder and you qualify for the shareholder benefit credit. Same with Carnival and Norwegian, and that would be for Carnival's cruise lines like All in America, Princess, Cunard, Costa Cruises, Ada Cruises, P&O, all of them. If you go on a longer cruise, say it's 15 days or so, these repositioning cruises, $250 cabin credit. And that's on top of any other credit they are offering you. If they're giving you a free drink package already and free Wi-Fi and no tipping and a $50 credit, you get this $250 credit on top of that credit. Now you got a $300 cabin credit just for being a shareholder. So you can be a shareholder of Carnival or of Royal Caribbean or of Norwegian. Now, some folks, they're a shareholder of convenience. They'll own 100 shares a month before their cruise. They'll go on their cruise, get the deal, of course. After the cruise is over, they sell the shares because the next cruise they want to go on 3-4 months later is another cruise line. Might be, this company over here. So you went from Norwegian over to Carnival. So now they're buying 100 shares of Carnival. Get those shares a month before the cruise, and then take the shareholder credit for that cruise, you see. And then after the cruise is over, figure out the next cruise. Oh, it's Royal Caribbean. Okay, sell those shares and buy Royal Caribbean stock. Why not? The stockbroker is only going to charge you like $3-4 to trade the stock. It's going to run you $6-8 to buy and sell the shares. If you get about the same price for them, you're going to be all right. They do pay a dividend if you hang on to them. In 2 or 3 cases, they pay a dividend. Now, if you can afford all 3, and just put them in your IRA and forget about it, leave them there. Every time you take a cruise, you're going to get a credit, cabin credit. That's just a benefit of being a shareholder of the company. Nothing wrong with that deal whatsoever. I did a video on it. Just look at my homepage. Look under my videos. You'll find about a month and a half ago, I did a video called Shareholder Credit. Save up to $250 on your cruise. Get a $250 credit. Good deal. Bob Hollis, for first timers, I highly recommend Carnival Liberty out of Port Canaveral. About 2,900 passengers. Ship is about 8 years old. 5 days, 4 nights to Nassau and a private island. That's a nice cruise too. Yeah, that'd be a nice cruise, and it'll be pretty smooth sailing too. You're not out in the mid, North Atlantic or anything like that. Definitely, and you'll probably find a pretty good price there on that cruise. I recommend going to vacationstogo.com all the time and search for cruises there and for pricing, really for pricing. I did a video on that, as you folks know, about 2 weeks ago, all about how to book a cruise using vacationstogo.com. Watch that, watch and learn, replay it if you're not sure what I was doing, and then enjoy it and take advantage of it. Great way to keep up on price changes on cruises because they change sometimes daily. Bob Hollis, longer than standard booze cruise. You can do it for $500 on an upper balcony. Great time. He's continuing that message about the Carnival Liberty. Samantha Farmer, Randy Lucas, depends on the cruise line and their loyalty program. True. Scott Batchley, I was lucky and won my first cruise way back when. It started me on my love of cruising. I would recommend a mid-range of 4 to 5 days. See, there you go. There's someone else with some experience. Like I say, for me, it was a 7-day cruise, and I loved it. It was too short when it was over. It was too short, but I wasn't sure going in. Going in, I thought, well, geez, 7 days. I hope you like it, my wife and I. And I kept checking with her. How you doing? Oh, I'm loving this. This is great. Me too. This is fantastic. Day 2, day 3. Oh, this is wonderful. Day 4, day 5. Uh-oh. Day 7 is coming. Day after tomorrow. Oops, it's over. And so we started planning our next cruise. That wasn't too long. Tommy Eaton, sorry I was late. I was watching In the Heat of the Night. They had the guy that played the bartender on the Love Boat. Laugh out loud. 59 days and counting. Yeah, that's right. He used to go like that. Then he used to go like, hey. Randy Lucas, Samantha Farmer, joke, we're elite with Princess. Tommy Eaton, thumbs up. Bob Hollis, go on a new ship except Seaside. Yes, there's one to avoid for now, folks. Msc Seaside, for you new cruisers out there. I'll tell you right now, you're not going to find a cheaper cruise on a balcony for the Caribbean, but there's a reason for this. This ship has been having issues after issues. I've done at least 4 or 5 videos, big chunks of videos on the Seaside's issues. And you may want to check those out, see for yourself. There's just been all kinds of issues with that poor ship. They got to get those bugs out of that thing fast. Loves to Travel says Carnival's buffet was way better than Holland Koningsdam. Way more choices. Well, that's interesting. I'm glad to hear that. That's quite interesting. Holland America does have an excellent dining room, though. Their main dining room has been fantastic. Matt saying, Bruce, you may have before, but would you share your loyalty levels with cruise lines? Would you share your loyalty levels with cruise lines? Matt, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Tommy Eaton, do they go by the number of cruises or by number of days for loyalty perks? It's both. It's one and or the other from time to time. So it's like if 4 to 6 cruises, you're in this level, or so many days you're in this level. Because what if you take 3 cruises and each one's 15 days long, and they have a 6 cruise minimum to get into level blah blah blah? You've got 45 days at sea. You're automatically in level blah blah blah. So it's they have both ways of figuring it out. Let's see here. Randy is asking, Tommy Eaton, Princess does both cruise credits or cruise days. There we go. Scott Batchley, Vacations to Go should monetize you. I agree. Yeah, well, once I get up to 5,000 subs or 10,000 subs, I could maybe talk to them. But at this point, I'm just telling you what I use to find my deals, and I find it, Vacations to Go is definitely to me an easy site to use, handy, and I can get very specific with it, or I can be very general with it. So I do enjoy it. Nina Frank is saying those single rates are crazy and not logical. Some people like to travel solo. Yeah, solo traveling. Unfortunately, solo traveling is still going to be expensive for a while, and I'll tell you why. 30 million reasons why. There are going to be 30 million people in 2019 going on a cruise. The cruise lines, that's a record, a new record, all-time record. They don't have to care. I mean, I don't want to sound like they're mean, right? That they want to be mean, but cruise lines are finding that they build these new ships with 6,000 passenger capacity, 5,000 passenger capacity, and they sell them to couples like crazy. And yeah, there are single travelers, of course. Every cruise has singles, but unfortunately, the singles pay practically double. They don't pay double the taxes, they don't pay double the tips. But you want a balcony room as a single, you're going to pay what 2 people would pay for that room, because that room would be normally booked by 2 people, and the cruise line can't give you a room for half off. Why would they do that? They'd be silly to do that. If a cruise line came out and said, we're going to do singles cruising only, every cabin, just 1 person, they'd go broke. They would lose money. They have to charge double. They'd have to, because they have to bring in X amount of dollars to pay the bills and then make more. So there's no easy way around it. It's a tough one. Now for singles, the trick of it is, if you like traveling by yourself, I get it. You like that solitude. you're just going to pay. If you can tolerate a friend, a roommate, a buddy, a travel friend, then, you find someone to go traveling with, and, we're just crashing in the room at the end of the night. During the day, I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing, and whatever. But gosh, if you're in a balcony room and both of you want to read a book on the balcony, and you kind of want to be alone on the balcony, and you got these issues, this is the problem. And this is where singles, it's a frustrating thing for singles. Even inside rooms, double the rate. That's usually what it is. Now, some cruise lines are only offering, they're offering an inside room maybe at 150% of the price. Or Norwegian has now built certain ships with singles cabins, like a collection of 8 or 10 or 12 in a cluster, and they're available on a single supplement price, which might be 120% above normal, but it's an inside room, smaller room for one. Some of the cruise lines will do that on some of the ships because they're large enough to be able to fit them in. But I'll tell you right now, the pickings are so good for the cruise business. It's easy pickings for the cruise business to just build these beautiful suites and sell them to couples. And you want one for yourself, pay double. That's the deal, because they're getting the money. They're just getting it. Sorry to say. Let's see. What do we got here? Those single rates are crazy, not logic. Okay, and Matt's saying, tell us which level of the loyalty program are you with different cruises? What loyalty level am I? I'm nothing really. I really have no seniority with any cruise lines at this point. Haven't cruised enough on all of them to earn the the stripes. Couple here, couple there. But my favorite cruise lines, as far as what I enjoyed the most for what I like, Holland America was my number one most enjoyed cruise ship. Would be number 2 would be the Norwegian Jade, would be number 2. And then I had the Princess, a couple of Princess cruises, Norwegian Epic would be in there. And then last would be my trip with Royal Caribbean Explorer of the Seas. But again, that's because of my personal preferences that I enjoy going on, which I've talked to you folks about before, and I don't want to bore you with that again. Let's see here. Samantha Farmer, the cruise lines are in a price war right now. Kind of, Samantha. They're in a bit of a price war regarding certain cruises and certain classes of cabins. But it's not an industry-wide desperation type deal going on at this point. But yeah, this is the time of year towards the end of winter now, where we're coming out of here like March, April into June, like May, June, July, the summer season. And this is that shoulder middle area where there's some deals to be had, and cruise lines will be aggressive. And then in the summer, they don't have to be aggressive. And then come in the fall, here we go, September, October, November, here we go again. And the repositionings will happen, of course, because we're now just about to come into repositioning season big time. The end of this month, March, all through April, that's repositioning time. And there's deals to be had with cruise ships that are not being repositioned and those that are. And then we start off again through the summer season. Scott Batchy says, I shop on vacations to go all the time. I don't blame you. I compare them. I love to compare them all the time. But when it comes time for me to pick a cruise, to book a cruise, I will have identified, most likely, the cruise that I want through vacationstogo.com. I'll have identified it, and I'll have a pretty good idea of the pricing from the Vacations to Go site. But at that point, now I go on the internet to the cruise line's website for that exact cruise. And I will try to see what they're asking for it to make sure that Vacations to Go and the cruise line are in the same ballpark. Cheers, everybody. Caffeine free. And it's happened where half the time I book through vacationsgo.com. The other half the time I book through a cruise line directly. Just maybe the same deal or better cabin selection. Maybe I was able to pick a better cabin. I don't know. I like the Vacations to Go because I can call the 800 number and talk to an agent. But I don't like to call the agent and just be a tire kicker. I hate that. I really, when I call the agent, I actually want to book because I've done my homework. But It's happened where I've called the agent where I thought I knew the price of a cruise. And the agent would say to me, oh, yeah, though, that price you're talking about is cabin so-and-so on deck such and such. And I'll take a look at that and go, oh, yeah, not what I want. I'd really like to be on deck, blah, blah, blah. Well, I may have found deck 14 or deck 15 on the cruise sites, cruise ships, cruise lines website. I may have found the cabin I really want. And the cruise line is offering me the cabin for, $749 or whatever the price is. But the vacations to go individual saying either I don't see that cabin available or I do, but only at $849. And so that's when I have to kind of say my goodbyes. I'll get back to you kind of thing. And then I go right over to the website and I book that room from the cruise ship. If I can get that price locked in, I know I've got a good deal. So that's just doing my homework and being my own travel agent. But if you have a travel agent, that's your travel agent should be getting you the best price, period. But they do admit some travel agents will tell you, Johnny, I did everything I could, and the best price I can get for you on that cruise you wanted, on that date, on that floor, that cabin, whatever number is this price, and you're looking at him or her saying, well, I can get it on vacations to go for $80 less or $100 less. And they're going to tell you, you're going to have to book it there because I can't get that price. That's an honest travel agent that you want to keep a relationship with. You might use that travel agent for the flights and the hotels to get you there and back, but you might have to go vacations to go to book your cruise. So keep that in mind. Matt says, you would never guess, but when we tried to book 2 cabins, one double occupied and one single, they charged us more than 2 double occupied. Ridiculous. I mean, it's just, yeah, they have it too easy. Matt then goes on to say, so our travel agent advised us to make up the name of a person. And on departure day, we said they were so sick, so they couldn't come. I don't know if you get away with that. Don't you have to prepay for your cruise in advance before cruise date? Oh, no. Bob Hollisay, can you book a cruise on vacations to go without calling the 800 number? No, I don't think you can. I don't think so. No, you have to call the 800, give them the deal number, and then they'll look it up for you, and they'll go over it with you. And and if you're a newbie, they'll gently treat you. They will gently work with you and help figure out. And they'll ask you, are you on the computer right now? Okay, well, go to that deal. Let's look at it together, and then they'll work with you together. Loves to Travel is saying, I looked on vacations to go for the Horizon, November 25, and the way I see the price for inside is $1,508, and not taxes, and Carnival's website is $995 total for a single. Now that's good to know. I would, however, this is good to know. Thank you for mentioning that. You might want to call Vacations to Go if you're serious about the cruise, and ask them, listen, can you help me with a single supplement value, a price? What are you showing the best you can do for me on this Carnival cruise, this particular cruise? Because the website is showing a much better deal than you guys are, and the agent will then go into the system, and you might be surprised they might match it. They might be able to match it. Again, that's just me speculating. Don't know. Tommy Eaton, I checked Carnival today, and the price went down for the same room I booked 5 months ago. Contact your travel agent, whoever you booked through, and ask for the difference. Ask for the price difference. You should be entitled to that. It might come to you as a cabin credit, or it'll come to you as a cheaper cruise. So, yeah, call up. Scott Batchley, yes, Nina, that is why I have been going Norwegian Cruise Line's new ships, so I don't get stung. And I think Scott is talking about. I think he's talking about booking a single room in the on the new cruise ships that have those single suites. I think that's what you're talking about. Just double checking back there, Scott. Good point. Nina, thanks. Loves to Travel. Loves to Travel says, I probably didn't do something right. This computer stuff is confusing. Tell me about it. Yeah. Samantha Farmer, there is power in numbers. Join a group and get the best price. Well, if you can, right? If you're if you're part of a group and you're looking to gang up and do something, but if you're just a single traveler or you're a couple and you have 2 weeks off in the latter half of September, that's the only 2 weeks you could get off from your boss. You've had other family commitments all summer long and you couldn't get away. Now finally we can get away for ourselves the end of December or end of September or into October or November, whatever it is. You're kind of limited. Tough to now round up 50 people and, hey, who wants to go cruising in the last 2 weeks of September? It might be tough. But then again, Samantha's got a point. If you're part of a group, let's say you're part of you're in a bowling league, you're a bunch of bowlers, and you say to, your team captains or to whoever organizes the bowling league, hey, have you guys ever thought about doing a cruise if we all wanted to go on a cruise together? But sometimes that's like trying to herd cats. You got everyone going, oh, that's a great idea. I'd love to do that. Well, let's go the first week of January. Let's go the last week of January. Well, let's go in March. Well, let's go over here. That's tough. And for you to do all that work to find a deal through a cruise line for, a 50-person price break or a 100-party price break, 50 cabins, and then not to be able to deliver the 50, you're wasting your time, really. So you don't want to be doing that. It's just the way it goes. I mean, that's why travel agents are travel agents. So travelers are travelers and organizers are organizers, and sometimes they will meet and sometimes they don't. Tommy Eaton is asking, is there a minimum number of people to be called a group? I don't know for sure, Tommy, but I would use a rule of thumb of if you're looking at least 5 cabins or more, or maybe 8 or 10 or more cabins, do the math, 2 people per room, 15, 20, 25 people, that might be the starting point right there. And, you can always say to the bowling league or the golf, you're a member of the golf club, and you got 500 members of this golf course or 800 members, put a notice on the, on the community board, internet, or in, remember paper and pen in the old days? We used to stick it up with a pin. Organizing a cruise to the Caribbean on this cruise ship last week of March. Anybody interested, call me by boom date. Tell me if you're interested, because you need to round up enough parties to see if you could put together a group. You might be surprised. Maybe 100 people call you, say, yeah, there's 50 cabins here. We'd love to go on this deal. End of January. Let's do it. Well, now you can get on the blower now. You can get a hold of the cruise line immediately and talk about a 50 cabin deal, and they'll tell you how soon they want the money. And then you can then hit up everybody saying how soon you need the money, because they need the money. So again, this is part of the deal here. People say they want to go, but then something comes up. Always comes up, and you need 60 people, 60 cabins to book 50, because you're going to lose 10. It's a tricky situation. Oh, perfect. Sylvain, you found my, I just saw it. You found my email. Fantastic. Great. Okay, good. I just saw the little message pop up on my computer screen over here. Samantha said, yes, each cruise line is different for a group number, like what they consider a group. And Debbie Manuel says, Scott, do you mind if I ask you how much time you spend in the meet and greet section where your single cabin is on the Norwegian cruise line? Yeah, do you spend much time in that middle area with any of these other folks? Do you see any of them at all? Is it kind of like on embarkation day that you kind of have a little, hi, how are you type thing? Or do you kind of meet just happenstance? Or are you reading your paper in the or checking out your emails or something in the middle area? Yeah, curious. Would be good to know. Excuse me. Good information, folks. Very good information. All right. Well, for me to finish up my thought on the perfect cruise line for perfect people, we're all perfect, right? I say if you're 25 years old and you're 2 young guys or you're 2 young girls. You're a guy and a girl, any combination of the 3. You've never cruised before, and you want to go on a cruise, and you want to experience what a real cruise is. It's not a college break drunk fest. That's not what we're talking about here. Well, then I would recommend Royal Caribbean as a top choice. Absolutely, get on that Harmony of the Seas, get on the Symphony of the Seas. You could book an inside room and go for the bargain deal, which leaves you spending money on the ship. On the other hand, if you can get mom and dad to help out, book a balcony and enjoy that view, especially if you're newlyweds. Book the balcony. Come on, this is it. Do it, and you'll enjoy all the amenities that ship has to offer, and the shore excursions as well. You'll have a great time. That's my recommendation for a 25-year-old couple that's looking for action on a cruise ship. Royal Caribbean would be a way to go. Second place would be maybe Norwegian, one of the larger ships there with their water slides and rock climbing walls and all their activities. But those would be probably the top two. If you're going to be from, say, your mom and dad, you're married, your dad and dad, mom and dad, any combination of the three. You're married and you're with children or without children, but let's say with children, first of all. You're 35 to 45 years old and you've got kids that are anywhere from 5 to 16, let's suppose. And anywhere in between that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, doesn't matter. You've got a number of choices to go with here. Disney is a top pick, the Disney Cruise Line, absolute top pick. They run their cruise line like they run their property in Disney World rather well. Excellent food, excellent service, expensive. It costs you, but Disney World is expensive. But if it's a one-time cruise, this is a one-time deal. Take the kids on a 5-day, 7-day Disney cruise. They'll have a blast. All age groups, they'll have a blast. Mom and dad will have fun too. Believe me, mom and dad will have fun. Second choice, Royal Caribbean again, because of all those on-ship activities you can do. I would recommend that. If the Seaside had its act together, I'd recommend the Msc Seaside because they got the zip line, they got the water slides, they got the rope climbing obstacle courses and water, everything. And yeah, but the ship's having issues, and so might be until next year. You have to wait. Norwegian, big ships on Norwegian would be another one I would look at. Now, Carnival, for the younger audience, like the 35-year-old mom and dad with 8 and 10-year-olds, something like that, or yeah, Carnival, good value. Grab the is it the Cubana deck, the back on the new Vista class for Carnival? Grab the Cubana deck, and mom and dad have their private area in the back of the Carnival ship. It's only 130 people back there. I'm not sure if children are allowed, though. I might be wrong on that. On the other hand, the kids can go and play in the water park up top, where everyone else is. But again, mom and dad grabbing a balcony. You grab a balcony room on a Carnival ship, and you got all 4 or 5 of you in the one room. Great way to go. Same with Norwegian. A lot of fun. Now, if it's a 35 to 45, 50-year-old couple, now you're looking at something maybe a little more calm than action. So maybe Princess, maybe Holland America, Norwegian, Celebrity might be the place to go. Now that might just be perfect, any of those. And if you're older, very much older, and I'm going to use an example of a 75-year-old couple, 75. You're in good health, generally speaking. You might be on cholesterol medication, but you're in good health. Then I would recommend something like Viking Cruises. That would be an excellent cruise line for a 75-year-old couple to take. No children, no one under 18 allowed on the cruise ship at all. It's adult only. All rooms are balcony. Alcohol served with lunch and dinner if you'd like it. There's 2 grades of balcony, the standard class and the premium class. Standard class, you get alcohol with lunch and dinner included, but you have to pay for any drinks separately. Whereas the premium cabin, there's alcohol in your bar fridge. It's a real bar fridge. And free alcohol on board, basically, is what it is. That would be an excellent cruise for a 75-year-old couple because the pace is relaxed. The food is first rate. The entertainment is classy, sedated, not over the top, noisy, 8-second attention span entertainment. Nothing like that at all. Ports of call are interesting. A free tour at every port and call is included in your cruise. This is an all-inclusive cruise. And so that would be a great idea to go on. But a little lower in price, then I would look at Celebrity and Holland America as my next two choices. Either one, your choice. Maybe the newer ship for the newer ships in both classes. And again, balconies, just balconies. Don't bother with insides. Look at balcony. If you have a budget that can go beyond that, beyond Viking, then you're looking at Seabourn. You're looking at Oceania. You're looking at Regent Seven Seas. You're looking at Crystal Cruises. You're looking at some of these high-end 6-star cruise lines. But again, I'm talking about a first-time ever cruise. Might be the only time ever cruise. It's a special event. Maybe it's being put together by grandma and grandpa, but also the kids are chipping in some bucks to get grandma and grandpa on that one-time cruise that they've never had because they sacrificed all those years for you guys. So spring some bucks together and put them on that Viking cruise. They'll never stop talking about it. And make sure they've got a camera because they can shoot video and pictures for you. And then you'll get the upgrades there. But again, they'll love Holland America. A 1-week cruise on Holland America, 1-week cruise on Celebrity, whether it's Caribbean or Mexican Riviera or, something like that. That'd be a wonderful, wonderful start. Anyway, there's my recommendations for these cruises here. Just want to check here on any other comments. I think I missed a few as they were going by. Oh, yes, they've been coming. Sorry, folks. I'm just trying to catch up with you guys here. Cruise line, here we go. Samantha, if you meet someone, you can book a normal. Samantha Farmers, if you meet someone in there, you can book a normal room next time. Well, yeah, if you meet a single meets a single. Hey, you cruise a lot? Oh, yeah, well, maybe you can get together. Well, you never know. Michelle Lucas, it's Taco Tuesday. When in Ensenada, Mexico, what do you do? I went to Ensenada, Mexico on a Princess cruise. It was a 7-day Mexican cruise, and we went from Los Angeles to Ensenada, and we hung out in Ensenada for about 4 or 5 hours, and then we left. And I never got off the ship. I never bothered because it wasn't all that pretty looking. Linda Jackson is here. They usually have a sign-up sheet for activities for dinner, Debbie, and excursions. If you want to, they have a person from Norwegian who is assigned to this area. Oh, you're talking about that single lounge, that gathering spot for those single suites. All right, so they usually have a sign-up sheet for activities or for dinner and excursions if you want to. They have a person who's assigned to the area. So yeah, you can get to meet these folks. Scott Batchley, Norwegian, also has a cappuccino machine there for free and snacks and juices. Nice. Every little bit helps. So Bob always says, so I said to my wife, honey, do you want to go on a cruise to the Caribbean? She said, absolutely. Can we get our own staterooms? It'll cost a little more, though. They'll treat us as singles. Yeah. You're going to pay for 4 people to take 2, and you want to be in a suite? Yeah, you're talking big bucks here, Bobo. Debbie Manuel, no, I was asking because planning to go on one and wanted to know if the selling point the ship's single cabins is as great as they say. Has anyone been in one of those, and is it any good? I know I had a viewer once who said, I think he enjoyed it, but we'll have to see if anyone here has been there before. Kathy Butler, some people were upset that Seaside charged $10 per person for the zip lines. Is that normal on Norwegian and Royal Caribbean to charge extra for fun activities? Anybody been on the Royal Caribbean ship with a zip line? Did they charge you extra for the line? Was it an extra charge for the ride? Be curious to know. Scott Batchley, wonder if they are going to change to Starbucks like the Lavazza that they have now. That's a good question. They might be. Bob, oh, no problem, she said. So I booked 2 rooms. I'm on the Freedom. She's on the Liberty. Big problem solved. She's going to be happy on one ship. He's going to be happy on the other. It was nice knowing you, Bob. Oh, my goodness. Samantha Farmer, Kathy Butler, it's free on Royal Caribbean, she's saying. The zip line is free on Royal Caribbean. Somebody sent me $10. I see this here. Hang on. Loves to travel. I'm too old for all the activities on board, she says. it would be cool to do the slides, but most of them are enclosed, and I would not be able to do them because you're enclosed. Yeah, I won't do the. I'm too old to. I'm 62. I'm not doing any of that stuff. Don't want to be doing that for a family. Kathy Butler saying for a family of 4, that's an extra $40 for one zip line. Nuts. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, especially if it's like 30 seconds from one end to the other. I mean, come on, it's not like 2 miles long. Yeah, bit much. Linda Jackson, yes, Debbie, I have done the studio cabins 3 times now. I have done Norwegian Cruise Line Getaway twice, Norwegian Escape and Breakaway. I love the studio cabins. I will be doing Getaway again, Norwegian Escape and Norwegian Bliss. So there you go. You have a fan there, likes those rooms, and we'll do them again. There you go. Kathy saying, thanks, Samantha. I hate the constant extra dollars here and there that keeps sneaking onto some of these cruises. Belinda saying, do they have a spa on Viking? Oh, yes, they do, Belinda. Very nice. Belinda, you want to check out Viking? It's easy. Just go to YouTube and enter on their Viking cruise, Viking Ocean Cruise. Do a search, hit the button. There's all kinds of videos on Viking. Jim Zim did a great video, I thought. Jim Zimmerlin. Check out Jim Zim's site. He's got about 170,000 subscribers. He's quite a bit larger than I am, but he did a nice video on Viking. He was on a Viking cruise. Highly recommended it. Highly, and did a detailed 20-minute recap. You want to check that review out. I don't mind promoting him. He's great. Debbie Manuel, oh, wonderful, Linda. Thank you so much. Now, even more excited to book one. Great stuff. Kathy Butler, me loves to travel to spa and casino are my speed. Laugh out loud. That's right. Nina, Frank, what did you pay Linda Jackson for your room on the inside? Well, kind of curious. Scott Batchy, I've done the studios a couple of times, back again on the Bliss in 193 days. So right on. Bob O, hey Bob O, you did that. Join the show. Bob O sent me $10. Thank you so much, Bob. Send me an email. Tell me what medallion you'd like to have, and it'll be in the mail to you. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. That's fabulous. Scott Batchley, and the studios are always booked up early. Scott, you're right. He makes a good point, folks. If you're looking for a studio cabin, you might not find something with 3 months to go. You might be having to look out 6 or 9, or just so you have a heads up on that. Kathy Butler, Belinda, the spa on Viking looks amazing. They have a snow room. They do the Nordic extreme hot, then cold therapies. Looks wonderful. Yeah, it is pretty cool. Debbie Manuel, awesome, Bob. Thanks for the contribution. Linda Jackson, price is constantly increasing for the studio, but I love it. Belinda C, snow room. Here we are in winter. Nina Frank got an offer for $1,049. Offer was a balcony for the same price. Was offer a balcony at the same price. Wow. So I mean, if you can if you can get a balcony for the price of a studio room, same deal. Take the balcony. I'm sorry, but yeah, take the balcony, of course. But if the balcony price is $1,049, but that's per person, and the studio is $1,049, you have to take the studio. That's the way it goes. Nina Frank on the Escape, she's saying, was on the Escape. Yeah, that's the thing about single supplements. I know I sent my mother on a cruise on her own. She wanted to visit her relatives in Germany. It was about 10 years ago, and she wanted to do a cruise. And so I said to her, well, let me book you a cruise, and I'll find you the air deal to get you to Europe, and I'll factor in your vacation. So I factored it in so that she did the cruise first, and she visited the relatives second. And then when she was finished with her stay, the relatives drove her to Frankfurt Airport, and then she flew back to Canada. So I flew her to Frankfurt, then I connected her to Barcelona, and she went on a Royal Caribbean. I think it was Independence of the Seas, if I recall. I could be wrong. It's 10 years ago now, so I might be. I'm not exactly sure. But I was able to get her a decent deal, a balcony room. I got her a balcony room at a good deal because it was later in the year. It was like October. And they weren't going to nail her double. They weren't at all. There was a slight upcharge, but nothing serious. So she got a balcony room to herself, and she ended up with pretty good weather. She was still in the 60s and 70s for the highs, and so it was all right. But she did confess when she got back. She said she enjoyed the trip much more when she was with the relatives because she was on her own. She was alone on a big 3,000 plus person cruise ship. She's a senior, but she had no problem visiting, mingling with anybody. I mean, she's very easy to get along with, and a nice person to visit with. But she would, on occasion, go into the dining room and ask to be seated with someone else. And so the maitre d' would make sure she would be sat with another single traveler, and they hit it off and would chat and that type of thing. So she was never, completely alone. But since my father had passed away, she couldn't travel with him anymore. So it was the only way to get her on a cruise. But that was her last ever cruise. There was no way to, set her up after that with her age going on, and plus being by herself. She really didn't want to be traveling by herself anymore. So she would rather hang out with us. And at that time, I was living in California in Palm Desert. So it was an easy sell to say, hey, Mom, you want to come from Canada for like 2 or 3 weeks and come hang out in Palm Desert, California with your son, your daughter-in-law, and your granddaughter? Nanosecond later, I got the answer. Yeah, as long as I booked her the flights and figured it out for her. She'd pay for it, but I'd have to book it. And we did that a number of times. She enjoyed it very much. Yeah, you would love to hang out with her. Yeah, she would have told you stories. You think I got stories? She's got stories. But she's getting on now, my dear mother. She's now 84, and she's in a retirement home now. She's in a senior center. And yeah, you talk to her, and she's just cheerful as ever. And you say, Mom, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing great. How was lunch today? Oh, it was fantastic. What you have? I don't remember. She doesn't remember. What did you do yesterday? I don't remember. Well, okay. What are you gonna do tonight? I don't know. Not sure. Okay. No worries. Not a care in the world, but can't remember 3 hours ago. No. But she's in good spirits, and she's well looked after. It's all good. Sylvan Forest. But the idea of booking a studio cabin on Norwegian was to accommodate the single traveler without having to pay double in a regular cabin. I guess they forgot about that idea. I have a cruising buddy now. Yeah, Sylvan, I like I say, it's just good times for the cruise business. They have no trouble getting up to 98, 99% capacity by the time it's sail day. And in many cases, the cruise ships are sold out, months before, especially during Easter, Christmas, these high seasons, they're booked up. Right now, we're in this wave season, as I was alluding to earlier, and so there are deals and there's specials being tossed about. But the cruise line CEOs, whenever they're interviewed by Wall Street, are talking about how they've been upping their prices for their cruises every quarter steadily, $5, $10, for that cruise, more. And they've been getting passengers to spend more on board. And so cruise lines don't have to make a special, concerted, desperate effort to get singles on a cruise, because they're still able to get doubles on a cruise. And Norwegian, of course, has made a big deal about saying to people who are seeing their advertising, third and fourth passengers travel free. Well, yeah, guess who those are? The kids. Generally speaking, it's the kids. So mom and dad book the balcony, and then they get the fold-out couch for the one or two children, depending how old they are. If they're two teenagers, one kid gets the couch and another one gets a roll-out bed or something like that, or fold-down bed from the top of the room. So as long as the cruise lines can sell out two to a room, upwards of 4, even with the kids getting that so-called free offer. Keep in mind, mom and dad paid full price, basically. You're getting tips for 4. And all 4 of them, if they're going to the steakhouse, you got to buy 2 more specialty dining packages for those kids, or souvenirs and other amenities. And if you're going to a private beach that your cruise line is running, those kids want to go on the zip line there, or there might be a charge for those amenities additionally, and mom and dad are paying that. So they got the free cruise, yeah, but yeah, they're spending extra cash to the cruise line for those 2 kids. So yeah, that's how it goes. So for singles, You're down. You're just not on the priority. You're way down on the priority. They are not saying it. They can't say it. They wouldn't dare say it. But I'm telling you that you're lower down on the priority list than doubles or doubles with children, even with promotions. Because singles are singles. I mean, a single person in the dining room ordering alcoholic drink is ordering an alcoholic drink. At least with a couple, it might be 2 glasses of wine rather than 1. And if they both have 2, it's 4. If they both have 3, it's 6. The single might only have 2 glasses of wine. So it's 2 glasses versus 6 glasses. It's numbers. It's nothing personal. It's like The Godfather. It's just business. It's just business. What can I tell you? Comments. They keep coming. You guys keep talking to me. This is fantastic. Let's see here. Okay, Samantha saying, never been alone. Join us. Cruisefulltime.com. It is cheaper than normal life. There you go. Love to travel. They get their money. Oh, yes. Belinda C. I'm going to save up for that Viking. It sounds great. I hope they send more ships to our area. You guys in America and Canada will get all the great new ships first. That's true. Belinda, I will say, though, Vikings business is doing so well on the ocean side, not to mention the river cruising. They're doing really well there, too. But on the ocean side, they're operating, I think, 4 ships now. The 5th is just joining the fleet. They've got orders for 16 ships. There will be a 1 or 2 ships in your area within about 3 or 4 years. Count on it. They're coming. They're going to be global. Cam Wilson, that's very true, Bruce. Thank you, Cam. About the money. Yeah. That's true. Okay. I think I'm going to pack it up. I want to say thank you to everybody for coming out tonight. I particularly want to say, Bob O, thank you very much for sending me $10 tonight. And your medallion awaits. Just tell me the one you want. Send me an email, and I'll take care of it. I really appreciate it. And all of you, I appreciate all of you being here this evening. Any thumbs ups that you folks can spare, I'll take. I see 30 here. 30 thumbs ups, 1 down. Not bad. If you've got any more left, please hand them over. That'd be fantastic. Thank you. I'm on tomorrow, Wednesday night, 5 o'clock Eastern time. And then Thursday, I'll be on at 5 and 8 for 2 shows. And then Friday for just 1 show at 5. Saturday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If you're a new subscriber or you're a new viewer, you've never watched me before, or you've been watching me, but you've never subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel. There's a button here, and it's free. You can join me and hit the bell icon, which I think is over here, and you'll get a notification every time I do a new video. Bob Hollis, you're sneaking one in on me. Bob, sending me $10. He's asking about Georgia Bulldogs. I'll check and see if I have one. If I've got one, it's yours. I'll check. Loves to Travel saying, fun chatting with everyone. Made my night. Thanks for joining us today. Loves to Travel. It's great to have you here. Tell your friends. Bring more people in. And we'll just keep growing this channel. It's fantastic. I love it. Debbie Emanuel, have a great night. Oh, look, yay, Bob H. She's saying, way to go, Bob. Judy Anstis, good night, Bruce. Good night, Judy. Thanks for all your tips and suggestions, you guys. Love it. Without you, I couldn't do the show. Belinda, I'll see you in 2 weeks. That's right, Belinda. Make it happen in Fiji. Tell me all about it when you get back. I'm really curious to know how that one is going to go. That sounds like a great cruise on Holland America into Fiji. Hasta la vista, amigos, Bob O is saying. Thanks, Bob. Randy Lucas, bye, folks. Belinda C, nice, Bob. Bob Hollis, see ya, Bruce. Thanks, you guys. I'm going to sign it off. This is Bruce with Traveling with Bruce, saying thanks for joining me tonight on my prime time edition of my evening's live stream. Really enjoyed it. I was glad you could pop in. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock. If you can pop by, tell a friend, share my videos with your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. I don't care how you do it. Just spread the word. The more the merrier. Have a pleasant evening. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 o'clock, everybody. Take care and good night.